Hey guys, it's Maury here with another guide for Google Ads. Today we're going to talk about 9 reasons why your ads are not showing. If you have problems with getting impressions, be sure to watch this video till the end. Let's dive into the first issue. One of the first issues that might stop your ads from showing is that your ad account is under review. Sometimes this happens when Google wants to review an information you have provided to them, something like billing info, account security, or other information that you have provided. And for this reason, they might deactivate your account for a short time and review the information you have given. Don't worry, this review won't take long, usually between 2 to 3 days, but sometimes even shorter. All you have to do during this time is just wait. You don't have to do anything. If it takes too long, you could get in contact with Google support to see what's wrong. The second issue might be that your ads have been paused, disapproved, or deleted. Now, this might happen for various reasons. For example, you could have manually paused your accounts. As you can see in the screen record that we have, some of our campaigns have been paused, some of them have been removed, and some of them are eligible, which means they are running. Now, this can happen on different levels, that is, campaigns, ad groups, ads, or even keywords. Each of them might be paused or activated. For paused campaigns, all you have to do is just click on the button next to them and click enable, and they will be enabled again. As for removed campaigns or ad groups or keywords or ads, there's not much you could do except for adding them again, because once one thing is removed from Google Ads, you cannot enable it again. So be absolutely certain before you remove anything. One of the reasons that your ads are not showing might be because of Google's policy. Now, Google has different policies regarding content, ads, and landing pages that might be affecting your campaigns, and because of different reasons, your ads might not be approved to show. Now, we're going to go through these policies in detail because these issues are really common with advertising on Google. Now, the first category of policies which Google is really protective of is prohibited content. Example of such products or services might be drugs or smuggling services. Also, any inappropriate content such as bullying, racism, any types of discrimination, these will not be approved by Google's policies. If you have sensitive services or products which might be mistaken for these types of contents, be sure to read Google's full guidelines before attempting to write an ad or starting a campaign. Similarly, there are practices which are prohibited by Google and they will not be approved. For example, you won't be able to misuse the Google network, such as running clickbait ads or cloaking. Also, data collection in a manner that doesn't take users' consent into account will not be allowed, such as taking credit card information without their willingness. Or if you have any misrepresentation of data on your website. For example, having hidden billing charges that users are not made aware of. The third category of Google's policy is related to restricted content and features. These are not necessarily illegal in nature, but rather promote thoughts, acts, or visions which might be harmful to users. So Google restricts how they are represented or who is targeted. One really common restriction is the use of trademarks. For example, you cannot use any brand name in your ad content, even if they are not your rivals. For example, us at AdFlex, although we are not rivals with Tesla, we cannot use their brand name in our ads. Also, Google is really restrictive with regards to sexual content, including promotion of adult websites or even using pictures in which models pose in an erotic way. Gambling websites and activities are also heavily restricted by Google as they are not deemed fit for most users. Another category that Google is really restrictive of is health and medicine. Now, this category is really common with beauty products or some everyday over-the-counter drugs that might seem harmless. If you have content that promotes medical effects in any manner, they will become restricted, but if you have the necessary permits for distribution and advertisement in a country or region, you might submit the document for a revision by Google. Other restrictive categories also include political content, financial services, and legal requirements. The fourth category, in which Google is really sensitive of, is editorial and technical problems. Now, there might be some editorial problems with your ad copy. For example, there might be a problem with your punctuation, like adding repetitive question marks at the end of your sentences, or even the use of excessive capitalization, which will not be allowed by Google. Also, you cannot use phone numbers in your ad copy because you have special extensions for that matter. Another issue could be the use of symbols or numbers inappropriately. For example, if you type flower with a 1 instead of L, that is not okay. But if you use F1 for Formula 1, that would be fine and wouldn't be tagged as inappropriate. Now, aside from the editorial problems that your ad copy might have, there could be some technical problems with your landing pages that might get your ads disapproved. For example, you cannot send your ads to a parked domain or websites with disabled back buttons or final destinations like gmail.com. These will not be approved by Google and you will have to revise your ads. Generally, you should tread lightly when it comes to sensitive content, because Google might not just disapprove your ad, but it might also, in some cases, deactivate your account or face more severe consequences. Now, whatever the reason behind your ads being disapproved by Google, you will be informed directly and you will be shown the reason so you could lift it. For example, here we have an ad that has been disapproved because of a trademarks in the ad text. As you can see, the word Shopify is identified by Google as a trademark and we are not allowed to use it. But if we have the rights to use this information, we could contact Google and ask them to remove the restriction. But generally, you could edit the ad, and after you have saved your edit, Google will start revising your ad again, and if the policy problem has been removed, your ads will be approved for showing. The third issue that you might be having is scheduling problems. Now, ad scheduling is a powerful tool that any advertiser should use to target their suitable audience at the right time. But sometimes, it might narrow your reach to the point of not getting enough impressions. This happens because the scheduling you set out is based on your account time zone. As you can see, when we select an account to set the scheduling, we are given an information here. Now, as you can see, based on account time zone, for our account is Central European Time. So any ad schedule that I set out for this campaign, it will be shown on the basis of this time zone. Now, if the users that I'm targeting are in a different time zone, they will still be shown ads based on the time zone of my account. Now, for example, if I'm setting my scheduling to 7 a.m. until 12 a.m. Now remember, these ads are shown on a 24-hour clock. The ads will be shown on this time in this time zone. So if there is a person in the United States, for example, or they're in East Asia, they will still see ads on this time only, and this is not their time zone. So keep this in mind, as this might narrow your reach based on the target of your campaigns and the audience that you are adding and the locations that are being chosen to show the ads. The fourth problem that you might be facing might be that your ad groups are not focused. Ad groups constitute of ads, keywords, and landing pages, and they are matched together to show content to users. Sometimes, ad content doesn't match the targeted keywords and result in low CTR. For example, the content is Google Ads Freelance Service, which is the content of your ads, while the keyword that you're targeting is Content Marketing Agency. To a newbie in marketing, these might seem related, but with a closer look, you can see the intent behind each of these have a very huge gap between them. Presumably, this ad with that targeting would receive a low CTR, and because of that, its ad impression would be limited by Google. Now let's look at an example. Now we have some keywords here, and as you can see in the status bar, they have been tagged as eligible but limited. Now, when we hover our mouse over this, we can see the information that Google is providing us. This ad is not showing because our keyword hasn't received enough impressions lately, and also the audience selection does not match your audience targeting. So Google, based on the information, based on the impressions and the clicks and the interaction rate, has decided that this keyword is not fit to show our content. So our content is not being shown on this keyword. Now, if we edit our content, we could test again and see if we get more CTR, but if we don't, this keyword would stay limited. While this can be because of our ad copy and keyword relation, it might also be due to our landing page content and the keyword related to it, which is the next reason your ad might not show. Number 5 on the issue list is that your landing page is irrelevant. Now, as you can see, Google says that this problem might be because of the relevance of our keyword, ad, and landing page. So, while our keyword and ad copy might be related, they might not fit the content that user is seeing on our page. Similar to SEO practices, CTR and user experience play a significant role in receiving impression shares. The closer the relation between a keyword and its ad or landing page copy, the higher its effectiveness, and likewise the higher its ad rank and impression share. Remember, this also affects your bidding, so if you have higher ad rank, the cost of your ads would be lower than usual. But if you receive a lower ad rank, you will have to pay higher to get impressions for your ads. Number 6 on the issues list is issues related to targeting. Campaign audience is important in advertising success and makes a great impact. But sometimes a very niche audience leaves you with little impression, which is not exclusive to you and is shared with other advertisers. This might narrow down to the point of not showing ads at all. So when mixing audience segments and creating audience groups, keep in mind their weekly impressions. As you can see, we have different audience segments set up for our account, and they have different size for each platform. For example, this audience segment has a search size of 100,000 to roughly 300,000, but the same size for YouTube ads is less than 1,000. So keep in mind which audience segment you are using for which campaign and where your ads are showing and how much impression you might get. Also, you need to make an important decision here. Where do you stand in the continuum of quality versus quantity? Do you need more ad clicks or do you need quality clicks? Your goal and how you approach it would greatly affect your campaign outcomes. So if you are targeting more clicks and you want to get more users to your website, maybe narrowing down the audience segments would not be a good idea. Don't forget, you can use the bid simulator to get an estimate of how many impressions and clicks you might get with your daily budget. Number 7 on the issues list is budget and bidding. Another common issue is that your daily limit or total campaign budget limit might be reached. Now, as you can see, we have a campaign here with a notice like this, a red box, which says limited by budget. Now, this is not necessarily an issue, but you should revisit your strategy and bidding if your daily limit is being spent in a couple of hours. This either means that you have a limited daily budget for that campaign based on your keyword biddings, or your keyword bids are too high and your budget is being spent in a couple of hours. Also, another point that you should take into account is your ad group max CPC. Each ad group here, as you can see, has a default max CPC. Now, this limits the keywords in each ad group to this price. That means that keywords in this ad group will not have a higher bid than €2. Other than the default max CPC, each keyword in an ad group has a maximum bid. As you can see here, each keyword has a max CPC itself. Now, sometimes this max CPC for these keywords might not allow them to be shown on the first page. Now, let's go through some of the keywords to find one. Here we go. Now, for this keyword, in order to be shown on the first page, the bid should be at least €2.73, but our max CPC is set for €2. So this keyword would not receive any impressions. Number 8, which is not unrelated to the previous issue, is that a keyword might have a low search volume. Now, let's find the keyword that has a low search volume. Here we go, we have this one. For this keyword, as you can see, the status says low search volume. Some keywords would have a low search volume, although they have received impressions or clicks in the past. Because the search volume now is very few, Google Ads will not show any ads for those keywords. So keep in mind and keep an eye out for any changes on keyword status throughout your campaigns. Last but not least, negative keywords are canceling active keywords. Although negative keywords are super helpful and should be used in every campaign to target the best audience and the best search queries, sometimes negative rules overlap with search keywords. Let's look at an example here. For example, we have Google Shopping Ads, which is an exact match for a search keyword, and then Google Ads, which is a broad term as a negative keyword. This term is more general and its match type is broad, which includes a wide range of queries. So it would override your Google Shopping Ads keyword and not show ads for it. So remember, when using negative keywords, try using exact match more often than phrase or broad match types, and also steer clear of general keywords. Thanks for staying with us up to this point of the video. Let us know in the comments if you have previously had problems with these or any other issues.